Shout out to dead people, 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 shout out to dead people. Dead people rule, tell me what I got.
Welcome to Synchronicity. Holy shit, I just plowed through like 8 technological hurdles during Mercury retrograde in a very short period of time. Welcome to Synchronicity. This is going to be a great episode. We're going to deal with some energy stuff. I have such a backlog of stuff I've written down that I think we'll get through all of it. But if we don't, it's because I'm going to talk about the shit that is clearly because of the start of July in the year 2020. Some major energy going on here. Also, if the audio is weird at any point in this episode, like it clips or it jumps or it skips, that's just, I've vetted it. I've checked it out. Everything is kosher. Everything is good. I've checked cords. I've checked cables. I've checked interfaces. I've checked computers. I've checked me. I've checked the vibes. I got a pendulum today. Could use that, I suppose. Yeah. I'm not going to use the pendulum live while recording a podcast. That's crossing a boundary and I won't cross it. I refuse to. Happy July. If I sound excited, it's because I am. I've also been listening to the new Kanye song, Wash Us in Blood. Is that what it is? That's the name. I don't even know the name. I've just been listening to it on repeat like a lunatic. Wash Us in the Blood featuring Travis Scott. It's fucking incredible. Listened to it all the way on the drive to the studio. Listened at the studio. Danced around to it. So fucking good. He's the best. How could people doubt Kanye? You're getting caught up in what he says sometimes and how it's framed. Oh my God, please. He's the best. And the music speaks for itself. Anyway, July. Let me tell you, if you like chaos, if you like uncertainty, if you like the potential and opportunity that chaos and uncertainty provide, July is the month for you. July, by the way, traditionally has been a very powerful and potent and fun month for me. It's my birthday month. It's going to be fun, having a little trip skis. You'll hear about that for patrons. You'll hear about that. That's the only time I'm going to mention Patreon during this episode. I'll mention it at the end. It's the only time, period. So I like when I throw myself off by talking about Patreon. In case you haven't figured it out, still, the idea of people following and subscribing and paying their money on a regular basis, to me, still conjures up some insecurity and vulnerability. So that's why I get a little weird and lose my train of thought sometimes when I talk about it. But anyway, I'm drawing attention to it. Okay, moving on. This energy in July is fucking insane. It is chaotic. It's uncertain. It's powerful. If you know how to ride that shit, it's going to feel like a wave of bliss. The trick is to just know that that's accurate. If you pivot into some other intense energy that isn't a wave of bliss, just experience it. Enjoy it. We're literally creating new shit every day. That's why we incarnate into linear time, into this physical world. We literally get to create new expressions of infinity. That's cool. If you're here, if you're alive, people are probably just now like fully remembering this in this year. Like a lot of people, like waves of them, but like in 10 years, 20 years, we'll be like, oh yeah, of course, this is what we're doing. It's fucking awesome. Let's make this place a utopia. Zion, by the way, this utopian wonderland, it's in your head. If you can experience it there, if you can create the world and sense the world that's coming into being, it is. You don't have to be weird about it. You don't have to be fucking, there's a new world cometh down from the heavens and it shall bring you nothing but peace and grace. Don't be weird. Just be cool. Just be cool. It's fine. It's a good time. You're going to love it. My friend Salim's calling me. Can't take the call now, Salim. Good timing. I knew it. I was like, I thought early in the day I was going to call him. He's going to call me back right when I'm recording some shit. Obviously. Classic Salim. Okay. Here's a big theme that's going on is transcending challenges. Transcending challenges. What does that mean? It means, when challenging energy comes our way, which is inevitable in one way or another, because that's how we grow. It's a major propellant. It doesn't mean bad. It doesn't mean that's the wrong approach to challenging energy. That amplifies it and creates more of it, which is probably what you don't want if you're doing something like that. But actually, I'm going to take a lot of big breaths in this episode. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff. Good stuff, I will say. Like all of the energy that's coalescing around this point in linear time and space, it's powerful, it's poignant, and it's good. It's benevolent. It's intense. If you have any ego attachments that are going on, they will be obliterated very quickly. I'm speaking from personal experience, but also just witnessing and watching what's going on out in the world. So if you just like, you probably have some, you know, most of us, if we're listening to this now in real time, 2020, you know, we probably have some ego attachments. We probably identified with our being and our body, not intentionally in like a bad way, but we've done it in a way that like we probably missed some shit and slipped by, and we didn't notice that like we've got this weird thing that needs to be rooted out, exposed, so we can be like, oh, I love you. It's no big deal. All right, cool. So transcending challenges, what this is about is when you're about to transcend anything, right? A difficult situation, relationship karma. A thing Jess has been talking about a ton is this interdependence versus codependency. Let's say you're hacking and you've hacked codependency, you're sitting in interdependency. You kind of know what that feels like as a dominant form. Then you're really ready to transcend it. What do you throw at yourself? You throw a final boss. You throw some major shit. And final bosses, if anyone knows anything about final bosses in video games, it's never really just the final boss, right? They got their little minions you got to fucking take out around them, or there's some part of the final boss that like amplifies, or then it turns into some other thing. There's all this other little things you need to worry about. So it's not just like you get one big problem and that's the only thing. When I say problem, I mean challenge. You only get one challenge, you get a ton of them thrown at you. So this is what happens. You can tell that if you're really about to transcend and break through something, and transcending, if we're going to meta it, transcending challenges as an energy, you're going to throw a fuckload of challenges in your way. And that's cool. You know how to handle it. It's not that big of a deal. But if you just take it as like, oh no, shit's going wrong, it's so hard, I don't like this. Yeah, it's just going to, you're basically going to keep yourself on that level until you want to go to the next one. And the cool thing is there's always next levels. There's infinite levels. It's fun. The main level is unity consciousness, which you can live in at any time in time. But if you stay there too long, here, all right. I get asked this sometimes. If you stay in unity consciousness or around that frequency of everything is one as a direct experience for a very long period of time, you're going to have a different set of challenges show up in your world. If not everyone around you, if your conception of everyone around you, your conception of them, they can't understand that, or they're just resonating, that aspect of the divine is resonating on a different frequency, you know, you can create some friction. I see a lot of people like this, and this is where I think kind of mental illness and psychosis, where these things start to come in. I've been getting some readings where people have family members are going through these things, or sometimes people are even on the edge of psychosis, which I think when I'm talking about psychosis and when people talk about psychosis, we think about it like going crazy, losing your mind, what's going on. You're phasing in and out of different aspects of reality, but if you don't like have your consensus inner stability or equanimity, it becomes difficult to communicate with other people, which is fine. It's not bad, it's not good, but if you have a desire to communicate and connect with other people, you obviously want to maintain some train of coherency that allows other people to catch your vibe, right? So I bring this up because I think a lot of people, especially people who have maybe been on the cusp of experiencing like profound states of consciousness and psychic phenomenon, you may feel like you're going a little bit crazy. Neptune's also in retrograde right now. It doesn't really matter when you're listening to this. It could be 5 years in the future. It doesn't matter. But it is like super acute right now in real time. You know, you're just going to feel dreamy, mystical, weird, a lot of like purging of unconscious patterns and behaviors. And to purge, you have to kind of be aware. No one like loves throwing up, although I threw up the other night. It felt great twice. It felt amazing. It's like, oh yeah, I just need to get that out. Cool, let's move on. A puke and rally. Old puke and rally. Remember those days? God, alcohol. Jeez. Okay, so that's transcending challenges. Transcending the, like from a meta sense, transcending challenges is if you see these challenges and difficult energies as opportunities to kind of like, oh, I'm going through this now. That means on the other side of this shit, it's going to be fucking incredible. Like, if you understand that, then you've hacked challenges. You're like, oh shit, no, this means that thing that comes before the other really good thing. Cool. Got it. Amazing. Do you know? And it always happens. I'm telling you, your consciousness creates reality. So you can make it what you want. If you believe it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. But I'm telling you, from my direct experience, every time a big ass fucking challenging energy, I'm smashing up car. I got pulled over by police. I'll tell you about that story a little later on. Speeding. The guy was like, apologized. I'm like, what is going on? Why is he kept asking if I was okay? Not in like a weird, I'm going to arrest you way, but like, I was like, yeah, I'm good, dude. I got to go to the bathroom, which is why I was speeding. And I didn't really communicate that. I was still like, had like PTSD from being arrested by the police twice. Fucking shit. Anyway, but anyway, I was just weird shit's going on. I had plenty of challenging energy, but I'm telling you, on the other side, every time, boom, amazing. Really. Okay, another thing I just got communicated to me. Am I going to have to start saying that? I guess Jessa says the aliens. I guess what it feels like to me is like an aspect of me, but also kind of some like other like archetypal energy that's not me. So it makes it easier to understand and process. Because if I think of it as just me, then I'm like, oh no, that's weird. But it is kind of just me. But it's like these other archetypal energies. Here's one relating to sound and music. Okay. Really pleasant sounding music, and whatever that means to you, just like the sound of good music, whether you make it or listen to it or have it around you, spirits or higher selves or whatever you want to call them, aliens, they fucking love that shit. They come and hang out and they tell you stuff when you do it. So play it, listen to it, learn it. It's fun. It's also just objectively fun. It's undeniably, I know it's not just for me. It's a universal thing. So anyway, that's something I was told to say by me in the future, which is what time travel is. We understand this? Understand this? Denise, we were talking about this. She'll come on. We figured out a few topics to really delve into. But yeah, I mean, what was I just saying? I lost my fucking train of thought. Jesus. Something about music, and then Denise and I were doing something related to it. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. It'll come back. That's how it works. All right, let's get into that wasn't even the notes, guy. That wasn't even the shit I had prepared. That's just like fucking 10 minutes of yibbledy yabbledy. How are you guys doing? July, though. I'm telling you, July. It's going to be good. You guys are listening to this. It means you're connected to my energy. Honestly, July is just such an abundant, fortuitous, amazing. I know it's eclipse season. I know people are like, oh, it's supposed to be crazy. It's supposed to be bad. Shit, blah, blah, blah. That's what it was last year. It was fucking amazing for me. I loved it. It was great. It's great every year. It's just how it is. Okay. Zion is in your head. This is the first time. I don't even remember what this means. These are tweets from probably a month ago. Should I start at the more recent ones? That makes sense. Let's have a plan. Stan, have you accepted you're amazing yet? That's cool. I like that one. That's true. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. If the goal of linear time is for you to reveal yourself to be the creator and sustainer and destroyer of everything you experience and see, that's amazing. You will inevitably play that out until you realize you're doing that, and you'll be like, holy shit, that's amazing. I am amazing. I get it. That's it. So just accept it now and it unfolds more pleasantly. That it just says I feel fucking amazing after that. Okay. Let's start at a real place that we can do this. All right, this one called my attention. It's like reading through a fucking script of shit. You run infinite versions of you to experience every aspect of the unknowable, undefined reality. You do this for as long as you love it. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. So this is kind of what I was alluding to before. We're creating infinite newness in space and time. It's infinite. We play this out, even in versions of this. And you can say, well, every version of this exists and it's always going to exist, and you're just tapping into it. We're actually creating new stuff because it's unknowable and undefined until we know it and define it. That's our aspect. As individuated aspects of everything, our job basically is to discover and create and imagine, remember, however you want to describe it. Remember, literally meaning like membering things together. You're remembering it. You're putting things together. That's what it the root of it really is. And it's just our function, and you do it for as long as you love it. As soon as you stop loving this with your deepest aspect of your core, you don't have to do it anymore. You really don't. Don't get that confused with relational love. Like, I don't like this. I don't love this. Don't get it confused with that. Like, that's different. But as long as you truly love something, you're going to continue to do it. So rest assured, if you're alive, you love it. And suicide, like physical suicide, does nothing. It doesn't escape you for it. You don't get off the wheel of existence like that. I'm sure there are very rare examples, but not really, because it's missing the point. You're not getting off anything. You just go back in a 19-year-old version of yourself, somewhere around there, younger if you need to be, and play it out again. You run infinite, literally infinite versions of you. You're me. Everyone is you too. Just keep that in mind. That's really important. But anyway, that's a fun thing to do. It's going to be a weird episode in case that hasn't become abundantly clear. Some of you have never experienced a collective transmutation of shame, trauma, fear, and dissonance for the express purpose of realizing who you are, and it shows. Guys, get with the program. It's not that big of a deal. All we're doing is just experiencing a collective transmutation of shame, trauma, and fear and dissonance. The whole reason for it existing is so you can realize who you are. You're creating this. It's cool. Don't judge yourself for it. That would be wrong. It has a function. We're in duality. There's light and dark. There's a push and pull. If you over-identify with one aspect of either light or dark, you will get pinged. It may take you many lifetimes to get pinged. You may have to incarnate as a Hitler-type person if you're really not getting it, but you will get pinged back in the direction you need to be pinged. And just thank everyone for playing a role that allows you to wake up and realize that. That's the correct approach. Thank you. Not in like a weird fucking, it's not a passive thing, but just like, thank you. Thank you for, like, I get it. Your function, your role is to have you played everyone literally plays an essential role in you waking up. Do you understand that? You can't really be mad at other people. Sorry. Kind of sucks. It's a magical. I wrote that. That's cool. I like that term. We spoke about sinning, I think, in the other episode. To sin is to miss your mark. That's the root of that word. We've taken it to be such a serious thing, especially my Catholic friends. It's not bad. You're allowed to masturbate. Masturbating is great. It's cool. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Any sin that we read about is just missing your mark, right? Just correct your aim. That's it. Just a little bit to the right, a little bit up. All right, bullseye. There you go. I've been getting into the I Ching again. So about this time last year, powerful eclipse energy I think it was my Jupiter or Saturn. I had some crazy energy going on last year, but it tends to happen around here. I've mentioned at the beginning, got into the I Ching. I Ching is fucking incredible. You've heard about it with the human design stuff. I've done an interview with P. She was just on Jessa's podcast talking about human design. It incorporates astrology and the I Ching. The I Ching is amazing. Terence McKenna also fascinated with the I Ching. It's just the hexagrams. It's a whole fucking fire above, water below. It's so fucking cool. It's so laden in symbolism. It's Taoist. It's pure. It's fucking cool. Amazing. So one of the things I pulled a few weeks ago was develop gradually until the maiden is married. Abundance is sure to follow. And then I wrote, of course, Neville Goddard and the I Ching go hand in hand. Why wouldn't they? Have you realized it's always better? Oh, no. I'm just like, these are just the way I wrote them together. I was also, side thought, have you realized it's always better than you think it will be yet? That's true. Also true. Gosh, you're really getting the full stream of consciousness today. Guess that's happens when you microdose a bit of the magic mushrooms. They're pretty sweet, gotta say. I get it. Still like acid more with the microdose, but I love these mushies too. Okay. Develop gradually until the maiden is married. Abundance is sure to follow. Let's talk about what I mean by that. So that's the I Ching. It's I don't know which one it was. Gosh, in the 50s, I want to say. Look at it. Developing gradually. That's the I Ching. But anyway, it says, until the maiden is married, abundance is sure to follow. So what does this mean? It means your state of consciousness is the maiden, the feeling you would like to feel as if you were the person you were. Neville Goddard talks about this shit all the time. That's why it's so cool. All of the mystical traditions are literally talking about the same thing. It's just you have to get below the literal meaning of what most of the words mean, because it's like an intuitive, subconscious type of communication. But marrying the maiden is identifying a state of consciousness that you'd like to embody or express or dwell in, and then just straight up being like, yeah, that's my wife. That's her. That's the state of consciousness. And it's not a fucking aggressive, paternal, this masculine energy involved. Don't get me wrong. It's a conscious, objective decision. That's the masculine in there. And don't fucking deny it. Don't subdue the masculine until you're a pussified version. And when I say pussified, I only mean like you don't want to overcorrect in any direction. You can embody more masculine energy or more feminine energy, but that nice healthy balance really allows you to do what we would consider magical things, right? What people would consider to be like, holy shit, how the fuck is that person doing that? They're balancing their energy. If you want it to continue over time, you can have an overabundance of any elemental, any masculine or feminine energy, and sometimes get amazing results. But if you want a long-lasting kind of abundance, if you want your prosperity, that's easy for me to say, your prosperity to be long-lasting, you really want to balance your shit. Okay. So again, the maiden is married. Abundance is sure to follow. Abundance being you're going to get the fruits of your labor. What you planted will be ready for harvest. That's again a Neville Goddard thing, but this maiden marrying thing, it's why fairy tales, regardless of what archetypal role we see ourselves in, I think when we're young, we tend to project like, oh, I'm a little girl or I'm a little boy. Like I started with I'm a little girl. Someone just edit that part of the podcast where it's just me saying, oh, I'm a little girl. Whatever role you actually see yourself in life is what role you'll put yourself in the fairy tale. But that's not really what's going on in the fairy tale. We're all the characters, right? It's every aspect of it. It's every aspect of Joseph Campbell's monomyth. It's quite literally, we're the whole thing. We're the threshold guardians. We're the person going through the journey. We're the person who has to fight the demon. We're the demon. It's this whole alchemical process. Carl Jung was really good at getting to the bottom of that, sometimes overly verbose for my taste, but still a pioneer in and really like kind of tracking this stuff down. So anyway, the I Ching, he was also into the I Ching and astrology. Go figure. So this state of consciousness is the maiden. Go and find her. Go and love her. Be like, that's it. Oh my, I want to feel amazing and creatively fulfilled and in harmony in everything I do. Yeah, please allow me to dwell there. When you marry that, what it means is you don't deviate from anything else. Do you understand? It's not this contractual, take it from someone who's in the middle of a divorce. It's not about legal contracts and 3D worldly marriage. It's about truly allowing yourself to be pulled by the truth of what you love. That's what you marry. We do this sometimes unconsciously and marry ourselves to states of consciousness that aren't pleasant for us and we don't enjoy them, and we be running someone else's script and someone else's program. And it's also easy to kind of fall into the trap of believing it's someone else's fault, and it's not their fault. They're playing an essential role in you waking up and taking your own power back. That's amazing. That's cool. All right, let me get back on track. This is kind of a cool way, I gotta say, of me plucking through tweets to create an episode, but I feel like I guess it doesn't matter how much shit I actually get through. 22 minutes, I've gone through like 3 things. Guess that's better than just plowing through. I don't know. All right, let's find another one. Weed. Here's a weed thing. I don't know if I've spoken about this yet, but we're going to talk about weed. First of all, tweet started with, I will defend weed until the day I die, and then I'll keep doing it as a fucking ghost if I have to. And that's true. I don't like when weed gets demonized. I understand why people demonize it. It's the divine feminine, and she'll show you your fucking demons, and sometimes people don't like to learn like that because they don't want to learn their demons are them. But I understand that's cool. So one of these things that I see weed attacked for is like, you can't remember your dreams. And we're in Neptune retrograde right now, and it's just not fucking true. You can choose to believe it, and rest assured, people in your life and you yourself will have trouble remembering your dreams. For real. Totally. It's Neptune retrograde. It's going to be easier than ever to forget your dreams if you want to. But The truth is, the reason I keep saying it's Neptune retrograde is that's Poseidon. He's ruler of the deep. It's dreams. It's mysticism. Think Alice in Wonderland vibes. Does it feel like Alice in Wonderland recently? Does July, that's what it is. July is Alice in Wonderland. Do you like Alice in Wonderland? Don't get too walked out with the opium fucking caterpillar for too long. You know, the Mad Hatter's the Mad Hatter, but just make your way through. It's pretty cool. The King of Hearts and the Queen. I got to watch Alice in Wonderland. So good. Well done. So where was I? Holy shit. Oh, the weed smokers. Listen, and I didn't even smoke weed yet in this episode. It's somewhere is this weed I'm going to smoke, and I don't know where it is. But anyway, this is such a good advertisement for weed smokers being space cadets. But luckily, I wrote it down. So fucking A. So weed smokers not remembering their dreams is a collective delusion, right? I smoke a lot and remember my dreams when I want to, when they have a functional role in my life. Dreams are access to realms of consciousness that can, may I say this again, can funnel down into this reality. They can, based on your willingness to accept their messages and wisdom in the way that you want to experience them. So just like dreams, we'll have a whole episode on dreams, because this life is a dream too, when you really get that, and you can make it functional with your actually dreams when you go to sleep at night. But that's a different episode. But weed smokers, let me try to explain why sometimes weed smokers tend to not consciously recall their dreams, just because that is something that, you know, outside of taking other people's beliefs about what weed does to your dreams, there does seem to be a real function there sometimes that logically makes sense, which we can subconsciously then process, which is cannabis. When you're on it, like other psychedelics, I'll consider it a psychedelic for its purpose, a psychoactive substance. It shifts you into this imaginal, dreamy-like world, super potent during Neptune retrograde. You actually might see it a weird focus, like a weird paradox during the next couple of months here. I don't even know how long Neptune's retrograde. Someone should fucking tell me. Whatever it is, I need a real astrologer. Just look at the transits when they're in front of my face. You know, you may feel that like you're really super high when you smoke weed, or like you're not high at all. It's a weird retrograde function. It's this paradoxical kind of dream realm thing. But anyway, we shift ourselves into the imaginal realm when we're in weed, when we smoke weed, or we are on cannabis, which is dreamy. So the function of actually consciously recalling your dreams at night is lessened if you know how to use it kind of from a functional standpoint, right? So that's why weed may get a little bit less. And I'm talking a little bit less. You may dream a little bit less if you smoke weed, but it's your choice, right? If you are, imagine you remember your dreams for real. That's just the root intention. Imagine, can we do a collective group imagining? Everyone asks for it all the time. We'll do a public one. All right. Group imagining this week. Imagine you remember your dreams. You're going to remember the coolest, best, most amazing dreams. And you're going to not only remember them, you're going to catch the subtle symbolism they feed you this week. And be like, holy shit. And they're just going to come flooding. We'll keep that one active for the whole month, right? Just imagine you remember your dreams and no substance, person, or ideology can prevent you from remembering them, period. Here's a quote from some weird alchemist. My child shall know that the stone called the Philosopher's Stone comes out of Saturn, and therefore when it is perfected, it makes projection as well in man's body from all diseases, which may assault them either within or without. So weed is the herb of Saturn traditionally in astrology. Cannabis is. It's referenced countless times, and there's many, you know, contradictions through all these alchemical stuff because it is just our consciousness. But cannabis is known through the Vedic cultures, through the Eastern cultures, through all cultures, as it's a teacher, right? And it's interesting to me that it gets attributed to Saturn as kind of an aspect of the divine masculine, that Chronos energy, that time energy. But it's an herb, and it's clearly the female part of the herb. So it's this beautiful harmony between this masculine and feminine in this 3D world. So weed, it's the best. I'm going to defend it. And by the way, I bought weed with Bitcoin the other day in real life. It was amazing. Fucking amazing. Maybe someone told you something and you believed it, and now it runs your life. Or maybe you experienced something and drew a conclusion from that experience, and now it runs your life. Step back and realize you have the power and ability to modulate your beliefs, feelings, and intentions. Don't ever forget that you run your life and always have access to that truth. Okay? I'm just going to go over that again here. Let me bold it so I don't talk about it again in this episode. A nice segue from weed into this metaphysical fucking truth. Listen, sometimes, especially when we're young and vulnerable, I see this with young children, right? We totally believe what someone else tells us. Maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's just someone out there who we think is an idol or, idealize. A famous thinker, a scientist, whatever it is. And you believed it, and it's great. It served its purpose. It really helped you functionally put together what was going on in the world, and it was a stepping stone. But if it begins to run your life, if that belief becomes the kind of centerpiece of what's going on, and it didn't come from your own personal direct experience as a functional, main thing, it's going to get wonky and maybe an uncomfortable way. Not always. It's been really gentle for me, I got to say. Really gentle for me throughout the course of my life. Maybe you experience something though. This happens to me sometimes too. And I got caught, I should say, in a perspective that I drew a conclusion from based on an experience. And I was just later found out I was totally wrong, just objectively wrong. I was wrong. I think I really realized this when I saw how judgmental I was of other people and myself. I was like, oh, that's just wrong. I thought it was so right at the time. Like, oh my God, I'm so right. So right. I'm the most right anyone's ever been right in the world. The most right. Wrong. So just be able to take that step back and recognize you're in control of this at any point. That's such a powerful thing. You choose then what you want to marry, right? That's the maiden. That's the following. The gradual. What do they call it? The gradual following? Jesus. Go back in the episode. Whatever I said then. That. Oh, shit. I think this is a Neville Goddard thing. So there's going to be some mixed in these tweets. I'll tell you what I'll do this now. Maybe I'll send out an email to the list of what I've been kind of digging. The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy is something I had been reviewing a couple of weeks ago. I was super into. I'm currently and still am into and was reviewing the I Ching. I think I have the Wang version. Alfred Huang, maybe? Huang? Fucking butchering it. That version. And Neville Goddard, just usually a constant being just, I don't know, pops into my consciousness a lot. Those are the things I've been consuming. And then I had the Book of Doors coming any day now, which Rodin from Water Baby recommended. That's coming too. So those are the things that I've been looking at. So that's where most of these things are going to be pulled from if they're directly related to something I've been consuming, rather than just internally having come to me, maybe based on external experiences, but internally kind of coming from the well within, which you do all the time as well. Okay. So I think this one, though, is in Neville Goddard. This world is your conditioned consciousness objectified, right? Your world, which is your mirrored self, constantly and continuously bears witness to the state of consciousness in which you live. There are no accidents, and predestined fate doesn't determine your fortune or misfortune. What you experience and perceive is always a reflection of your current state of consciousness. All right, I think I mixed myself in there with Neville Goddard for those, but basically, let's go over it piece by piece. This world is your conditioned consciousness objectified. What? Can we have more words that are vague and hard to understand and platitudinal? Nah, but it does make sense. Basically, what you experience as external reality is this creative, unlimited creative potential to experience infinity, literally everything, but you've conditioned it down into this experience of most likely a name and a body and a place that you experience through linear time. And you've conditioned certain aspects of this reality, and your beliefs and subconscious kind of intuition and motivations continuously bear witness to your world. You bear witness to your internal beliefs in the world externally. So it's this conditioned, crafted version of reality, and it's objectified, meaning it's out in the world, right? It's there. It's an objective truth. Facts are facts. We all know this. That's objectivity. That's also masculine energy. to be clear. I'm trying to weed that out a little bit from my to say to be clear, but I think I like it. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to roll with it. So that's masculine energy, is like, this is how things are. Logic says this. And it's cool. It's not a bad thing. I think we're also getting to the point now where the feminine has raged pretty fucking hard and will continue to do as long as the unconscious aspects of the divine masculine need to be exposed. But there are aspects where the masculine needs to be like, yo, hey, come on, guys, we're in the world. There is I do have dominion over some aspect of this place. Can we it's kind of like, it's cool. Let's be cool. Let's have a good time together. That's an energy that's flowing in. So get ready to enjoy that. But getting back to this statement, your mirrored self, right? Do you understand? This world is just a many-tiered mirror aspect of who you really are at your core, which is everything. Don't get freaked out by that. You can dwell on that. It can feel great. It can feel calming. Take a second to just feel that. It feels good. Don't get weird. It feels good. Yeah, it's nice. So that's everything. That's who you really are. But you've conditioned yourself down into an individuated state of consciousness. Great. Congratulations. That's a cool contract sign. It's pretty amazing. Great job. And you're continuously bearing witness to the state of consciousness in which you live. Where do you want to live is the question. What do you want to experience? Do you want to experience happiness, bliss, comfort, love, grace, magic, coolness, funness, amazingness? Me, I do. I like that. I sign up for that. That's what I sign up for. I know I can sense, and I know I've dealt with this too. Does that mean you're being childish in a negative sense, in a pejorative sense? Does that mean that you're eschewing and saying, no, I don't want to deal with the important aspects of life, like suffering and grief and sadness? That's life too. Of course you're going to deal with that shit, but you can choose in which way you want to perceive an aspect. That goes back to this challenging energy stuff. Do you understand what that means? If you think this life is final, this is a big fear. A lot of people are going to transcend in this lifetime. If you think this life is it, for real, when you die and it's like the worst fucking thing and you lose your complete sense of who you are, if you want to, sure, play that game, that existential dread game. You're good. Trust me, you're good. Every mystic, everyone who's ever tapped into this shit is basically saying the same thing. They're like, yeah, you're good. Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. And it is, because it's a felt reality. And you'd be like, that's a delusion. It's a scientific fact that we don't see that the brain, blah, 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 blah. Whatever, man. Chill out. Don't put that shit on me. It's fine. We're good. You can move past that. And once you just accept that, do you know how much space is dominated subconsciously by the fear of death and thinking that, like, oh, we're going to lose everything I love and everything's going to be gone. It sucks. And do you know, too much space. Free your fucking mind. It's not that big of a deal. If it strikes you as foolish and too carefree and nonchalant, then okay, that's cool. I thought of, no, it's not, but that's a direct experience that you have to go through. Empirically test it. Figure out which state of consciousness you want to live in. Set that. Do we need to revisit a very basic technique? It's so simple. When you're going to sleep at night during the day, a lot of you may feel tired during the past few weeks. Fucking heavy energy makes you want to sleep. As you're doing that, set your intention. Solve your problems as you go to sleep. Summon up a scene that would imply what you desire has already been achieved. This can be material. It can be physical. It can be anything. I recommend spiritual, a deep aspect of your being, healing, grace, love, unconditional love, forgiveness, acceptance, these things. Create a scene that implies you already have those things. From within your own perspective, this is going to be looking out of your body. You're climbing the ladder, not watching yourself climb a ladder. From within your own perspective, create this scene. Imagine the state of being that a scene would say. So you're talking to a friend. Holy shit, I've never felt this good. It's fucking crazy. I can't believe it. It's just amazing. I knew it was possible, but I just didn't know it could click in like this. That's it. Just imagine that. Feel how you would feel as you just do that. Do that as you go to sleep. What's easier than that? I'm not telling you to fucking sit down and meditate with your eyes closed for 8 million hours. If you want to do that, great. Imagine yourself doing that. I'm sure I'm going to go on silent retreat, come back and talk how amazing meditation is, but it's amazing because I know it is, because I made it so. And when I say I'm talking about the grand you, everyone. You create your world. There's profound mystical states to everything. For real, everything is holy. So start here prove it to yourself. And then from there, we can do the other stuff. And it's much more fun. Okay. Jesus. I am just yakking today. What are we at? 40 minutes? Jesus Christ. All right. Gonna keep going. I think we'll do a solid hour today. We'll see where we end up, right? What is time anyway? It's fun when everything is connected in a literal and explicit way, because why not? And that's what's happening. Have you noticed that, like, literally, like, I've heard Jessa talk about this too, about how, like, everyone's like the Simpsons did it. It's because they created reality and they were close enough to the frequency and consciousness because of mass TV and people tuning in and the flexibility of imagination that a lot of people with the Simpsons kind of tapped into. They create reality. We're doing this too. Scripture is being replayed out. Book of Revelations, all of these things are constantly being played out in literal physical reality. That's so funny to me. That's so fucking funny to me and so cool and so amazing. And it's actually happening for real. It's just like, it's just cool, man. And just here's another thing. Doing stuff is more fun when there's a high chance of catastrophe. And chances are you feel this too because you're alive and hearing this. And I wrote this, but hearing this. Understand, like, we like this sense of like, oh shit. Holy shit, we want, like, that's what the omnipotent aspect of us did. We're like, we're bored being everything. This is boring. I don't like this. I need some fucking shake up in my life. So let me forget that I'm omnipotent and have all these amazing powers and go back. It's like the Hanuman myth, the Jesus myth, all of these things. Incredible. When I say myth, totally real. Totally real. Become Hanuman. Become Jesus. Become all the gods. You can be Thoth. Thoth is everything. Or Hermes, everything. You just Isis. Just like I'm that, I am that I am. That's a real principle. It's a cool one, but realize as you self-identify as everything, you experience that reality as well. So it's, there's a give and take. Anyway, don't know where that came from. But anyway, this sense of catastrophe is really, really fucking, like, we like it. That's why you're here. So don't fight it. Don't be like, this sucks. I mean, you can. I don't want to, like, shit on people for saying, this sucks. I totally get it. But have you ever, like, been on a ride and, like, someone's freaking out for no fucking reason? I've been this person, so I'm allowed to say this shit. And freaking out for no reason. And then you're just laughing because it's not a big deal. It's okay. It's going to be okay. Not in, like, a dick way. You just know it's going to be okay. Anyway, don't know about you, but I came here to play and have some fun. That's kind of one of my main drives. And love. Really love and music. That's good. When you imagine something miraculous for yourself or another and accept it as done, you release an immeasurable power that reveals the imagined miracle in this reality. You get that? So cool. Can imagine. Do you know what I imagine? Imagining. You know what I'd be imagining? You know what I imagine for listeners of this podcast? Good shit. Do you know why the caliber of people who listen to this podcast? It's astounding to me. Do you know what the craziest shit I talk about? I talk about crazy shit and I get the coolest fucking people. Of course I do. 'Cause imagine you're the coolest fucking people. You can do that for anyone in your life. It releases this omnipotent, it is the root God creator energy. Something miraculous is pretty fucking cool. Expect the miraculous, accept the miraculous. That's easy enough, right? Expect it and accept it. Expect it and accept it. That's going to be good. Here we go. Going back to the masculine, feminine. I'm just bopping around a huge text document too. It's really my style. When you're objective and subjective, aka masculine and feminine, minds are in harmony, you're immune from any state you don't willingly take on. This is a big one. A lot of people are really powerful manifestors, really powerful at creating their reality. You all are, actually. But if you don't know what you're doing and you have that imbalance again, you may be taking on states that you don't really want to take on. If you are in harmony, you're immune from those states because you're tuning in to what you actually want. You're balancing your desires, what you're aware of, with what you actually deeply feel. It makes you immune from any state. This, I will say, even disease. Doesn't mean you won't experience that sometimes if you're not kind of like on top of it, and don't feel bad if you're like, or get a cold or get some disease. Like, you're teaching yourself something. It's no big deal. Accept the lesson. You should experience healing. And the lesson might be to die. We're all going to die at some point. Death isn't bad. Death is not bad. Gosh, God, how many times I gotta say it? It's really easy if you can just get at that. Challenges aren't bad. Death isn't bad. Disharmony isn't bad. All is a function. Doesn't mean you have to fucking dwell in those states. Jeez Louise. Impress yourself to express yourself. That's a catchy one. What I mean by impress yourself, you impress yourself subconsciously. What you write on your inside, you experience on the outside, right? That's kind of the real thing. Like, here it is. We're going to go back. When you imagine something miraculous for yourself or another and accept that it's done, you release an immeasurable power that reveals the imagined miracle in this reality. Yes, I just said that again. This power is what creates, sustains, and destroys this world. This power is also who you really are. This is like really who you are. Test it and experience it yourself. Don't take my word for it. That's insane. So insane to be taking my word for anything. The shit I say it probably sounds super accurate and real because it is, but please test it. Please test it. That's it. There's no fucking book. I didn't write a book. I get asked to write a book about this shit. It's all in the podcast, all there. I'm just going to yak about it for the rest of my life. Probably if I say never, I'll write a book, but it's not codified in any way for a reason. It's malleable, it's changeable, just like your consciousness. There's no doctrine, there's no dogma. If there's any dogma, it's that you're in charge of this shit, for real. And it's unconditional love. That seems to be also the root. That's the only dogma. From there, do whatever you want, for real. I should just mic drop it right there, but I feel like I got a little bit more in the can. Got so much more written, got to go through. Okay. That Kanye song is so good. Oh my God. I just keep thinking about it in my head. So nice. Let's say grace. Do we know what grace is? It's love in action. Accept grace in your life. Do you know how great it feels to be graceful? You're love in action. You're just this harmonious, beautiful, peaceful, amazing person. I love when I see people in states of grace. It's incredible. It's like, holy shit. You're doing it. You're fucking love in action. You're just unconditionally loving and giving to yourself and other people, and you know what that means and you're aware of it. Wow, how graceful is that? That's fucking graceful. People don't talk about grace enough. It's love in action. That's what it is. All right, let's get back to a root thing. Your regular reminder that every mention of God, a deity or deities or holy beings refers to you and your wonderful human imagination. For real, you're reading something and you go, wow, that God is so amazing. Wow. That's you. You're the creator, sustainer, and destroyer of everything you witness. Again, don't take my word for it. You got to test this shit. I'm just going to keep reminding you tonight as you go to sleep, assume yourself to be the person you desire to be. That's when you claim what is rightfully yours. Who are you really? What is this real? Who you are. That's what we'll call this episode. Who are you? Who am I? Keys to the Bima. You are a limitless being with infinite potential, power, and grace. Infinite grace. Oh my God. It's too much grace almost too much. It's too much. Think we got to scale back on the infinite, guys. Back it up. Got to back that up. Can we make it finite and just make it really high? No, it's got to be infinite. Okay. It's got to be infinite. We're going with infinite. All right. So infinite potential, power, and grace. Cool. Good for you. If you realize this, we can just, great. Let's start having some fucking fun here and making this place the place we want it to be and experience it in our minds as. Totally possible. Totally within our power. Not in someone else's hand. The magic is funneling in, right? It's totally, just buckle up. It's going to be good. It really is. I know like a lot of you are sticking around. I see the podcast stats. So it's like you guys have been riding this fucking wave. If you've been with me for the past year, it's been a year. I'll let you know when imagination stop creating. There's a little Gollum in me creating. I'll let you know when imagination stops creating reality. I'll let you know. I'll be the first one here on the front lines being like, nope, doesn't work anymore. Got to move something else. Got to do something else now. Now it's like hard work and suffering and shit. Got to move to that. Don't think so. All right. Your conception of the world is your opinion of yourself. Don't forget that. You look out in the world and you go, bleh, bleh, boogie, 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 ah, bleh. That's your opinion of you. What are you doing? Don't do that. You can still recognize people being schmucky. It's okay. You just don't bind them to that. You just say, oh, that's the role they're playing to help me unbind them from that. Because who wants to be schmucky? If you engage in emotionally charged situations with calm and equanimity, you can't go wrong. If you engage in emotionally charged situations with rage, shame, guilt, and fear, you'll keep playing out the same story over and over and over again. Do you like that? I mean, I guess if it's that Kanye song, it's pretty cool, and I guess that's what people are doing. But eventually you want to hear a different song, right? Well, I don't know. Me, there's Infinite again. That's cool. What else we got going on? Face your fear and realize everything you've ever wanted is right there on the other side. That's true. How many times you got to experience that? It's amazing. Those big fears, especially big bounties on the other side. Yeah, it's chaos mode. Full chaos mode with the eclipse season. That's what's going on. That's what's going on, mon amis. Just when you go into your fears and you go into the chaos, you realize, like, if you get to dictate and choose, like, where you want this stuff to go. Like, this is a really, like, it sounds wrong. It sounds like, no, you can't do that. You can't actually have your life be amazing because you feel it to be amazing. Incorrect, buddy. That's not what logic says. I understand that. Part of the divine masculine getting its ass handed to itself is like, yeah, it can. It's illogical. It's irrational. It does. But it is. That's the divine feminine. And that's what's going on here. Ride the motherfucking wave. You want to be someone who teaches or helps heal, provides a space to heal. I mean, I don't think anyone actually does any healing, but you want to provide that space. You got to go through that work to do that and recognize it both is and isn't you. I mean this in a literal sense. It is your aspect of your conditioned element that is you, like your name, who you are, and there's a measurable power there. And you do control that reality, but there's this broader aspect of you that is constantly communicating that's the real power. And if you can genuinely build the bridge between those two, you're going to live a charmed life. What feels and looks like a charmed life to other people, especially. And if you can imagine people reacting to your life like, holy shit, what the fuck? Oh my God. How is that possible? How do they keep doing that? How does she keep doing that? How does he keep doing that? How do they keep doing that? That's, you're fucking nailing it. What do you think Kanye's doing? Unintentionally or intentionally, might as well do it intentionally, right? Have you struck the tuning fork that awakens the knowledge of who you are yet? Go play a lot of sounds. Go play a lot of music. Go stay around the shit that makes you feel like you. Stay around that stuff, even if it's weird. It's okay to like weird stuff. It's all holy. You save your world in the end, just to be clear. You save your world. You play an essential, critical part of saving your world. That is the Christ the Redeemer energy. We're in Pisces, Neptunian energy with this Neptune retrograde. If you tune into that aspect of reality, which I imagine a lot of people are. There's Aries energy. Aries is in his home. He's going to be there for 6 months. A lot of warlike energy. Of course, that's an aspect of reality we can tune into. But don't forget about Neptune there, King Poseidon, under the deep. I like living under the sea a lot, not because it's distant from the realm of man and earth dwellers, because, man, there's some potent shit down there. There's a lot of treasures. We know less about what's under the sea than we do about outer space. Think about that. Just think about that. We know less about what's in the fucking ocean of Mother Earth than we do about outer space. Just facts. Just factual earth facts, earth facts, earth facts. Get your earth facts. Anyway, it's a metaphor like everything else. Okay. I think we hit. These are short little bursts. I mean, I got so much shit written down. It's too much, guys. We'll just sit on those. We want to get a couple of more. I feel like we want a couple of more. You're allowed to like weird stuff. Oh, I figured this one out. Most people's issue is they just need to take some type of psychedelic and listen to more Frank Ocean. Also, I'm going to do an edit of, I'm putting this up publicly because I have to hold myself to it. An edit of the second half of Frank Ocean's Pyramids. So like I've known Frank Ocean is incredible. Like he's just absolutely amazing. As a songwriter, as a producer, as just like a creative genius, he's incredible. But the first part of Pyramids, he's got these like kind of Darude, like 90s, late 90s synths that I guess in the past I could never get past. Like, I could never get past them. And I was just like, all right, probably turned it off each time. But the other night, I got past them. And holy shit. So I'm going to do an edit of that for the people who don't put in the work and the time to appreciate the first half. The second half of Pyramids. Oh my God. What? This whole world is a dream. And it's you. This whole dream is you. So that's fun. I was like, what was I trying to write there? This whole dream is you. So that's fun. That's really cool. Just remember it, right? Remember what it felt like when you transcended the most difficult times and situations, relationships in your life. I'm not saying that like you did that at one point. Remember? You did that. Embody that feeling of knowing that's your true home and realize you can always go home. That feeling of transcendence. Such a meta hack. Such a good one. Just really good. Where you want to be is so close. It's already here. Imagine that. Are you traveling somewhere? Are you going somewhere? Just imagine. It's here. You don't even have to go anywhere. It's literally there. And I mean that, like even a distant geographical place. I'm going to be doing some traveling. Watch that shit during a pandemic. Throwing it out there. Do you know how ballsy that is? Do you know how many, plenty of hurdles could be thrown in my way. Now, here's the truth, and I want to talk about this. You know what? I'm going to use my this is fucking walking the walk and talking the talk. So I have a ticket booked for Turkey. I'm going to lay this shit 100% out in the line. You guys want to imagine something for me? Some people do that. Spoken about it with my patrons. So I have a ticket booked to Turkey for the July 17th till mid-August. And shit's fucking wacko out there right now. Europe is shutting down. Fucking U.S. tourism because it's fucking going nuts. It's just crazy. So there's plenty objective obstacles for this trip even happening. But every day I use that as fodder and a challenge for my imagination. And I fucking know I'm there and I know the experience that happens. Now, let's say I by accident slip into a reality where I don't make it there. Am I going to beat myself up over that? Because I feel like, I see a lot of people do this. They don't get the thing on the timeline they want. They beat themselves. Absolutely fucking not. I fully accept it as perfect divine plan and timing. But guess what? I'm fucking there. It's not even close. I'm fucking there. So I'll put that out there. You guys can imagine me there happily and healthily there. Let's see what the power of imagination can do. But it is our world. We live out these stories. We live out what we want, right? And so understand that. That's why I put a very personal thing out there. I deal with this. I had to deal with this also. I talk about the loan stuff that I've gotten and some money issue and money karma stuff. It doesn't mean I don't deal with doubt. When I say we transcend doubt, you have to be aware of doubt to transcend it. And you're going to throw doubt your way until you transcend it. And it doesn't mean it goes away forever. It'll come out in different aspects of your life. But when you really know you have the power and faith and conviction to draw anything into your reality that you want. And that's really what's going on here. I'm not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. You're creating a reality around you and you move through this kind of optical illusion of walking and doing shit. And you're just creating these magical experiences. And that's what this July is. It's pretty fucking amazing. That's the reality we're moving to. And we're doing it for good reasons. We want some more harmony and grace to flow in here. We could all use more of that in our lives for sure. Right? No, home is where the heart is. Right? Where's your heart? Where's your fucking heart? That's the home. That's the home. Okay. Boldly claim yourself to be that which you desire to be. That's your power. When you're ready to transcend challenging energetic patterns, guess what you give yourself? Boom. Fucking challenging experiences. It's great. It's amazing. But you're transcending them. You don't have to do that. Have you realized you're swimming in an endless river of grace yet? Because you are. It's so great. Oh my God. Okay. That's officially it. If you've made it this far into the ramblings of me, there is a Patreon. We do smoke sessions. We do bonus episodes with guests and solo casts. We do Q&A episodes. So let me break down the levels because I know sometimes there's some confusion. The $7.77 level is for people who want bonus Q&A. You get to ask twice a month questions and I answer them for those level of patrons. For $13 members and 13 cents, you get the bonus episodes, the live readings, the Q&As, all the other extra shit. The music isn't with all of this stuff. And then the $22.22 level is for the smoke sessions and all of the other stuff. It's just like a more intimate kind of connection. We do these Zoom calls and we hang out and we smoke weed and it's fun. So that's the Patreon. That's there. Patreon.com/synchronicity. There's the website, syncpodcast.com. You can connect with me in all the ways. I do readings. We have Mercury retrograde ones going on. Like I said, I'll be traveling, but I'm literally right after this. The only reason this recorded well is because I had to like make a deal with like my higher self or spirit or what guides, whatever you want to call it, that I'm getting a Zoom recorder, because I'm going to do some really fucking badass travel episodes in Turkey, and I'm going to get a really good recorder for that. So I will be traveling, but there'll be the regular allotment of episodes. They'll be magical. They'll be amazing. I'm going to be in a profoundly, highly state of grace. So I already know. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. It's a good month to join. We're really going to be kicking it off. We've had a couple of months now, 2-3 like solid real months of the Patreon. I feel like hitting its groove, so that's good. That's going to be my only ad for this. This is the solo cast for this week. I'm putting this out pretty soon after I do this. Happy imagining. It's going to be a wild month, guys. Just enjoy the ride is all I can say. I'll have some music finally being released for the general public too, hitting the streaming sites. Just good stuff coming. Lots of love and happy imagining.